This ring is the guide for the upper end of this elevation rack, and my support for the dust collector is going to swivel in this section. This head is very heavy, and I don't really care to lift it off of there to make rings to slide down on here like I did for the smaller benchtop model. This is a template of the piece that will go around the column. I could tape this to a piece of wood and duplicate it on the router table. I found it was just as easy to go ahead and cut it out on the scroll saw. Then I fine-tuned it on the disc and spindle sanders. And it looks like this. The strength of this is maintained through this section, and this piece clamps it to the column. It'll be held together by a couple of screws. A couple of vertical supports, be a wood dowel, and then this piece gets glued on top of there, and the two clamps hold it onto the column. There'll be another vertical support under these. The template for the extension pieces, or the dog bone pieces, whatever you want to call them. And again, this was cut out on the scroll saw and then cleaned up on the disc and spindle sanders. All the edges have been rounded over on all these pieces, and these holes are all 1 1/8 inch diameter. My column is 3 1/8 inch diameter, and these extensions are in 3-inch increments. After this is glued together, it will go in here like this. This will clamp on here and at the top. Very similar to what I did on the benchtop model when I did the first video on the auxiliary table. When I made the other one, it was made out of scrap wood, and these are different lengths depending on what size pieces of wood I have. This time these are all 3 inches from center to center, and you'll be able to clamp this onto this column and remove it without messing with this head. After assembly, we have support blocks. The main strength of this is carried through here, and this is clamping it to the column. Eventually, this wood dowel will be glued to the top and the bottom part, and after this is assembled, the dowel still turns, so everything appears to be in good alignment. One thing I never addressed were these little pieces of plywood I put, and the plywood runs across the plies and helps hold those together when you run a screw in there, keep from splitting that plywood. It works pretty well most of the time. These need to be parallel to their mating sides, so I just put clamps on there to make sure that those are sitting flat. I have a wood dowel in each one, and these are in there freely. And I take my spacer block and I sand it to where it just goes in there. Now when I glue that in place and put a clamp on here and a couple of screws, that'll give me just a little bit of gap. I come out here, put a clamp on that, make a spacer block to go in here, and we got to remember that the next one is going to have to be narrow because there's going to be another piece in there. So the spacer block for this one is going to have to be kind of narrow. In fact, I may put it that way. With the 3-inch sections on there, that comes out from center almost 15 inches. And the dust collection hose will attach on here something like that. This is the blast gate that turns on the dust collection for the drill press table. I had to move those electrical outlets up about 6 inches to get out of the way of this. It's a real advantage of having plywood walls in your shop. It's very easy to move things when you need to. My 2 grinders, and the reason why I couldn't extend that handle over to here. It was my original intention to glue the dowel to these outside links, but this is quite strong, no need for that. I have a fender washer on both sides and allows easy disassembly if I need to in the future. This thing will fold up on itself, allow you to come in close on your drill press table. It'll go up and down with the table. Over here, you swing it up out of the way. You put one of these on your drill press table, you're going to find it's very handy.